course, that's relevant because we've already been, next week it'll be about...
In my work as UN Special Rapporteur on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, I conduct country visits to assess overall the situations of Indigenous peoples in the countries I visit. And I've conducted a number of visits to countries throughout the world. And in these visits, many of these visits, national human rights institutions have been of great assistance. First of all, by providing me information relevant to my effort to understand the conditions of Indigenous peoples worldwide and analysis about those situations. Also, national human rights institutions have been useful in disseminating my recommendations and in helping me to try to promote the implementation of my recommendations following my country visits.
We have to make use of those mechanisms and at the same time give them local meaning and relevance. With the Special Rapporteur, we will use his report. We'll be covering everything he said in our race relations report, and as we do with the third committee, we will use that as part of our education and our advocacy in New Zealand as a result. And so what I think we're learning, and the UN's mechanisms are learning as well, is the National Human Rights Institution is a natural partner with local knowledge, independent of government, but connected with government and Indigenous and other communities. And so if we can get the right combination of that international expertise and the local expertise, and we can produce something out of that that's relevant both internationally and nationally, then we've got the formula right.
In addition to conducting country visits where I look at the overall situations of Indigenous peoples, on an ongoing basis I receive and in many instances respond to communications about specific situations of problems or violations of the rights of Indigenous peoples. And it's often the case that I receive information directly from human rights and national human rights institutions about these situations that help me understand the facts that are involved, and that help point me in the direction of what kind of action to take, what kind of intervention I might make to address the situation. And often as well, the national human rights institutions provide me with guidance on how I might best intervene. My intervention is often directly with the governments concerned, and the national human rights institutions can often be a way to understand how, within the local context, my engagement with the government might best help.